Yo, what's cracking everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hey, before we start, just want to thank everyone for subscribing, especially my new subscribers. Look, I hit 15,000 today. It's quite cool, as I haven't uploaded for such a long time, but I'm officially back. And as a little treat, I have 3 insane and easy self-working card tricks for you. So here's trick number 1. So trick number 1 is really incredible. Basically, the spectator can shuffle the cards as many times as they want. They can cut them. It really doesn't matter. And then you explain to them that you are going to find 2 predictions. Here is number 1 that will be revealed to you in a moment. And I'm going to use probably this one as well. So these are my predictions right there, the Jack of Clubs and the 8 of Spades. You hand the cards to the spectator and they can literally deal face down as many cards as they like. And when they're happy, they can just stop. And then they're going to mark the position where they've stopped with one of the prediction cards, and you place the rest on top, just like that. And they do the exact same process. They just deal as many as they like. It's completely fair. It's entirely up to them. And let's say they want to stop there. And we place the Ace of Spades and mark the spot right there. Now you explain to them that we had 2 predictions in the beginning. You then dealt as many cards on the table as you like. Well, tell me how this is possible. You can see we've got our 2 predictions right there. Now if we take a little closer look, you can see they've each found a match, just like that. We'll place the matches right there and get these off to the side. Now these aren't just any matches. You could have dealt as many cards as you like, but somehow you found the match to the Jack of Clubs and you found the match to the 8 of Spades. Now let's see how that's done. Alright, so here's the explanation to this really cool self-working card trick, and it's cool because the spectator can genuinely shuffle them and they can even give it a cut. Perfect. Now what you're doing is when you turn the cards and make your prediction, you're looking at the Queen of Hearts and you're going to find the opposite, which is the Queen of Diamonds. And while I'm here, I'll take a quick peek at whatever's on top, okay? So I'm going to find the Queen of Diamonds and the 3 of Hearts. So I go through and I say, look, I'm going to make a prediction. There's one. And I'm going to make another prediction, which is going to be, that one there. And then you say, you know what, I'll show you what they are. And then you ask them to deal as many as they want onto the table. They can do it in a pile, 3 at a time, as many as they want. And whatever's on the bottom, which is obviously the Queen of Hearts, you say, look, I'm going to mark where you stopped, and I'm going to place these all on top and repeat the process. And they go through again, and you mark the card like so, and the card trick's done. All you do now is you go through and you say, look, they've found a match. They've found a match right here, and you turn them over, and they're perfectly matched. It's pretty cool. Alright, so the second magician fooler, as I'd like to call this one, is super easy trick, and basically you tell the spectator that you're going to make a prediction, but to let them in on a secret, you are going to tell them that it's either a king or a queen, just to make things a little bit easier for them. You hand the cards to the spectator and they deal as many cards onto the table as they like, and they can literally stop whenever. So let's say we stop right there, put those to the side. Then instruct them to deal 3 piles onto the table. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. These cards right here are going to tell us the identity of that card right there. The way we do it is like this. So remember, that is either a king or a queen. So king, queen, king, queen, king, queen, king, queen. So this pile tells us it's a queen, but which one could it be? Let's have a look. So we've got reds and blacks. So red, black, red, black, red, black, red, black. So it's a black queen, and it's a club or a spade. So club, spade, club, spade, club, spade. According to these piles, your prediction is the Queen of Spades. Let's check it out. And it sure is the correct card. That's cool, but what would be even more impressive is this. You dealt as many cards as you want onto the table. You then created 3 piles, but somehow you have dealt the Queen of Diamonds, clubs, and the hearts onto the bottom. Let's work out how that's done. Okay, so here's the secret to this really cool queen trick. And you don't have to use the queens, you can use other 4 of a kind. I just tend to use the 4 queens. So what you want to do is you want to place 3 queens on top of the pack and place, I'm just going to use the queen of spades if you want to follow along. I'm just going to place that in the middle. And that's all your setup. And you just explain to the spectator, look, before we start this trick, I'm going to make a prediction, but I'm going to help you out a little bit and let you know that card there is either a queen or a king, and you're going to decide which one it is by dealing out some cards. So you hand the cards to the spectator. Remember, we got the 3 queens on the top, and they can deal onto the table as many cards as they want. And so let's say they stop right about there. You put these to the side, you ask them to pick these up, and you say, remember, these cards here are going to tell us what this card is. And you ask them to deal 3 piles onto the table, just like this. Okay. Now what you've done, it doesn't matter how many cards they deal onto the table, those queens are always going to end up on the top. Okay, that's just the exposed view though. So we go from here, and you want to start on the left hand side, and you want to say, okay, remember, these piles or these cards are going to tell us what that card is there. And you start by saying, remember, it could be a king or a queen. Now you always put the opposite of what this one is on the table first. So we know this is a queen, so we're going to say, all right, king, queen on the bottom, king, queen, king, queen, king, queen. So your card is a queen. Now it could either be red or black. Same with the red and blacks, you put the opposite on the table first. So you say red, black onto the bottom, red, black, red, black, red, black. So this pile tells us it's a black card. Now with this, you pick it up, you say it could be either a spade or a club. So do the opposite. You go club, spade, club, spade, club, spade, club, spade. And all you've done is you've just put all of the queens onto the bottom. And that's your final reveal. And so from this point, we know now your card is the queen of spades. Turn it over, it's the queen of spades, and then you turn all the other piles over, having a nice little reveal. All right, so the third and final trick is absolutely a killer. It's going to make it look like you have psychic powers. Now, it's a little bit hard to do on my own, but when you see the explanation, it's going to blow your mind. So you hand the deck to the spectators. You tell them just to deal down a few cards onto the table. When they're ready, just to stop. Let's say we stop here. Now they take a peek at the card. Remember, you don't see it, but for explanation purposes, it is the 9 of diamonds. And then they place the rest on top, put the cards on the table, and then the magician splits the cards in half. We give them a Rosetta Shuffle like so, and we just mush them together. And you know what? Just for good luck, we're going to do it one more time. Now you have to agree that's completely impossible. Now we square the cards up, and we give them a little spread on the table. Perfect, just like that. And you'll be able to tell them every single time exactly what their card was, which is obviously the 9 of diamonds. And I'm going to show you the secret right now. All right, so here's the secret to locating a spectator's card after shuffling them 2 times. This is crazy. So the only way you're going to see the trick and see how it's done is through this explanation. So what you need to do, you want to set up the deck, so you can use whatever suit you want, but in this case we're going to use the diamonds. You want to have ace all the way through to the king, and you want to have obviously the ace on the top. And here's what you do. Now you're gonna have to forgive me because this card trick is self-working and it just works. I don't know how, I don't know why, it just does. So you're just gonna have to trust the process. So what you do is you ask the spectator to pick the cards up, and you ask them to deal a few cards onto the table. Now the reason you say you want them to deal a few, because you do not want them to go past the diamonds or the king. All right, so Watch this is crazy. So you say deal face down, a few cards onto the table. Let's say we stop here. All right, take a look at the card that you stopped at. So we've got the 6 of diamonds, and you grab the rest that they've dealt on the table and place them on the top. And this is the part I just don't understand, but it's freaking crazy how it works. You cut the cards in half, you twirl the cards like that. This is a Rosetta Shuffle, and you just tell them to smush them together. So they push them together. But the craziest thing is, you could pick up half of these and tell them to do it again. So they push them together like that. All right, and that's a genuine shuffle. There's no sleight of hand here. So you pick up the cards and you square them up, and you can tell them every single time what their card is by doing this. All you have to look for is the Ace of Diamonds, and the card that's the next diamond that's on top is their selection. So if you look right here, you can see there's the Ace of Diamonds, and the 6 of Diamonds, which is their selection, is right on top. Let me explain in a bit more depth how that got to that position. All right, so let me explain in a bit more detail how their selection ends up, when the cards are face up on the table, how their selection ends up on top of the ace. It's quite self-explanatory, but I'll go over it just in case. So when they're dealing onto the table like that, so let's say we'll use the same card again, the 6 of diamonds. You've dealt the Ace of Diamonds onto the table. So I'll show you again. And so the Ace of Diamonds is right there. So as they deal the cards onto the table, they stop there. All that's happening is when you put these back on top, it's going to go, the ace is going to go on top of their selection. The rest of the trick where you do the Rosetta Shuffle, I have absolutely no idea. But just remember, you can only do this shuffle twice. You can riffle shuffle it, you can tell them to riffle, you can't overhand shuffle. So it's either a riffle or the Rosetta Shuffle. So we'll do this one more time, and then you square them up, and we should find their card. Now you obviously don't tell them what you're looking for, but in our mind we are looking for the Ace of Diamonds. Now remember, the ace, their selection, so if you look over here, you can see the next card across is the 6 of Diamonds. The selection is not necessarily going to be right on top, okay? And so it could be further down here. But as long as you look through, you find the ace, and whatever the next diamond is going to be the card that they chose. I hope you liked it.